Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com, and I want to talk about June 12th, 1968, and I was in Vietnam. I was in the Marines. About 2 in the morning, we were attacked. There's about 100 of us, and what we did is we were on foot and we just travel all around close to DMZ. We did a lot of stuff around the DMZ, and we walked around there. And every night we would sit on a hill. Most of the times sometimes we could go back to a rear area somewhere or a base of some type, but most of the time we were out in the jungle on a hilltop every night. And so we were attacked, and I jumped up, and I was in mortars at that time, 60 mortars, and I would start doing my mortar stuff, shooting the mortars. They'd tell me where to shoot at, and I'd be shooting there. And every night we would set in, and we were in 3-man groups. We'd dig a hole, normally about 5 foot deep. The Marines call them fighting holes, and they were all around the hilltop, and I was in the middle. And then I could shoot up my mortars wherever side that I needed to go on. And so I shot up my mortars, and it kept coming. I mean, the combat kept going. And normally we would have these nighttime combat events about once a month. And so I ran out of ammo, or I was running low, one or the other. And they said for me to go down there and help them. And so I took off. All the excitement and explosions going on. I mean, just kind of like strobe lights from all the explosions going on. And so I'm running. I'm going down this path, down there in the dark, going down there. And so you just kind of go down this path, going downhill. And then I remembered I didn't have a gun. When you're shooting a mortar, you don't need a gun because you're shooting a mortar. And so I just took off. And so I'm going down this trail. And then, now we got a rule. You make this hole, you stay in your hole, and you kill everybody that's not in the hole. And these holes are about 10, 15, 20 yards apart. So there's no reason for anybody to get out of the hole. And so I'm running down this path, and then bam, I run into Vietnamese, North Vietnamese Army. Run into them, and I say, no gun. They were as shocked as I was when I hit them, and I say, I'm going downhill. And then, so I hit them, and then we do our fighting, and I grabbed whatever I could grab, and I'd be shooting, and then I just kept on running. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to turn around, run back up the hill. So I just kept going down the hill. And then finally, I found the hole. I hit the hole, and there was 3 Marines there. They were dead. And so I'm in the hole, and the North Vietnamese were coming up, waves of them, waves. And I was scared. I was completely terrified. Now, by then, I've been in combat for 6 months already. I know what combat is. And when I was expecting to be there to help these other Marines, and there wasn't any. So I'm scared. I got down in the hole. The 3 Marines were in the hole. I put them on top of me. And the hole was full of blood and guts and all kinds of nasty stuff. And so I'm there, I'm scared. And I was thinking, what killed them, I think, was a satchel charge. And that's all that is like a canvas bag with explosives in it. And what they would do is every time they see a hole, they'd throw a satchel charge in there, and the concussion would kill everybody. It's not so much shrapnel, it's just the concussion of the explosion. And so I was thinking, man, they could do that again. I mean, what's to stop them from throwing it back in there again? So I thought, I gotta get up, and I gotta fight. And so I got up there, and it was in that hole was a 50 caliber machine gun. And so I grabbed a hold of it, got a big old wooden handle on there to load it. And so I pulled that handle back and let it go, and I just started shooting. And in training, we shoot every kind of weapon there is. So I've shot it before, but I've never shot it in combat. And so I don't know how to load it. Luckily, it was loaded, but it uses a string of ammo. And I wasn't sure when it ran out how to open it up and put another string of ammo in there. But you can attach the end of it to another string of ammo. And so I would shoot it, and then I would stop and check the ammo, and then if I saw the end of it, well, then I'd attach another line on it. And while I'm stopped, then that's when they're coming at me. I mean, shooting machine gun of any kind of machine gun in Vietnam, the life expectancy, I think, was like 3 seconds or 4 seconds after you start shooting, because everybody says, stop that machine gun. So everybody starts aiming towards that machine gun. And so whenever I would stop, I would end up having to use hand-to-hand combat. And then I would get the thing back going again and start again. And this kept up all through the night. Normally when the sun comes up, daylight starts showing, when you can see what's going on, that's when everything is stopped. And so I'm doing this all night long. And then come morning, then that's when things calm. Now, to tell you the truth, I don't know how much of the detail is correct. I mean, I was so scared. I was pissing and shitting all over myself. I mean, it was really scary. Now, the reason I bring it up is I go to Marine Corps reunions every once in a while, not a lot, but every once in a while. And that Marine reunion is our company. And I was at a reunion here maybe 5 years ago or so, and one of the Marines said he remembers this fight that we had, and he says there was a 50 caliber machine gun, and it was down 2 holes from where he was. And where I was at, I know everybody was dead in both holes on each side of me. I know they were dead. And he said he remembered that night the 50 caliber machine gun would start firing. And they like that. Because when 50 caliber is shooting, I mean, that makes everybody feels good. But the thing is, it would stop. And then when the machine gun fire stopped, well, he knew, well, whoever was doing it was dead now. And then it would start up again. And it'd be more and more shooting and all these explosions going on and all this kind of stuff. And then it stopped. And then he says, it kept going all night long. And I kept thinking every time I thought the guy was dead, it would start up again. And I told him, I said, that was me. And he didn't know that. And here, this has been over 50 years ago. And he said he didn't know that was me over there. Well, nobody knew it was me. You ought to be. It's not like the movies. Come morning, you all just don't jump around and do high fives and all this kind. You don't do that stuff. I mean, it was bloody, nasty, scary. And come to find out, that was one of the worst fights we were in. I think there was 32 of us died through the night on that one. And I don't know how many were wounded, but that's how many died. So about a third of us was killed just that one fight. And if I remember right, it was like 3,000 or 4,000, maybe even more, that were coming up on us. And like I say, the 50 caliber, I remember distinctly doing it. I remember distinctly how scared I was. I try not to think about what happened there. Even when I got out, I mean, that was it. I mean, I was out when I was 19 years old. I was out. And I tried not to think about it. And people would ridicule me when they found out I was in Vietnam, and they'd give me shit. And, I mean, it was a tough time back then. And so I try not to think about it. And to this day, not so much that particular fight, but I'm always, well, not always, but every day I think about my Vietnam experience. And I lost my wife, let's see, it's probably been 8-9 years ago. And I think about her every day. Those are the two things that I think about every day. And my wife was great on helping me get through all that. She knew that I was in Vietnam. I didn't talk about it to her, but there was a reason why I'm the way I am, and she knew it. And seeing she was from from Guatemala, she's been in riots. She's seen people killed. She knows all this, and she knew that did all this stuff. So she was very good on being understanding with me and helped me get through it. But you know, I'm sorry if I wasted your time talking about this. But I have no one now. And being left alone with my thoughts is not a good thing. That's why I go places, I do things, I try to get around people. It makes me think. I have to think on how to get along with people. It makes me think of others. And it's just been a lot to bear sometimes. But anyway, this is Mike. NoStressMike.com.